All right, guys, for today's lesson, you're going to need this sheet that says translations on the coordinate plane. All right, so we're going to take some basic notes about what translations are. We started our transformation unit, and we're going to get into a very specific type, which are called translations. So a translation moves every point of a figure the same direction and the same distance. So every point on a figure is going to be moved in the same direction, and the same number of spots that you move it over will be consistent. So a translation can move a figure left or right, but it can also move it up or down, or it could be a combination of the two. It could be left and up, or left and down, or right and up, or right and down. Okay, so translations are pretty much just thought of, this is the key word here, they're thought of slides. It's like you're just sliding an object. All right, so number one, it says translate this figure 5 units to the left and 2 units down. Okay, record the coordinates of the pre-image and the image in the table below. So what we're going to do is we're going to first label or record what the points are. So point A, in our pre-image, that means in our regular one before any changes happen, we see that it's at 2, 4. Go over 2, up 4. Okay, B, this is over at 6 and up to 7. So 6, 7. And C, we see it's at 7, 3. Now, the directions say move each point 5 to the left and 2 down. So I need to take A and move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2 down. Okay, so I went 5 to the left, 2 down. And this is my new A. So I'm going to still label with an A, but we're going to call this with a little apostrophe like that. That means this is the changed image. It's our new one. Okay, and this is called prime. That's a prime mark. So I would read it as A prime. And A prime means that's the new one. So what's the new point for A prime? It's at -3, 2. Okay, B, same thing. Move it 5 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 down. And label that one. That's B prime. So I see at B prime, we are now at 1, 5. And then last one, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down 2. So C prime, you're at 5, 2. Okay, now it says down below, look for any patterns that describe what happened to the X and Y values in each ordered pair. So if you look at the 2 and you go to the 3, or you look at the 6, you go to the 1, the 7, going to the 5 there. Oops, I wrote that one wrong. So C prime, I don't know why I wrote that as that. That's 2, 1. Okay, so C prime 2, 1 there. My mistake. All right, if you look at everything that's happened there, what's happened when you move to the left, it's just gone down 5. So I'm also going to go ahead and connect these points too with the straight edge. I should have done that before. And when you do that, you should realize that your object, you haven't changed the size of it. It looks the exact same. The orientation looks the same. It just has slid over and down. Okay, so what's happened to our values? Let's say moving to the left, 5 decreased all the X values by 5. And that should make sense. If you go to the left on a number line, you're really subtracting. Moving down 2, you see what happened here? 4 to 2, 7 to 5, 3 to 1. Decreased all y values by 2. So we basically just subtracted everything. Okay, so the next question asks, how can we represent this algebraically? That means if I was to write a rule for this, so I started my x, I started my y. Well, what happened to your x's? You just took your x values, subtracted 5. What happened to your y values? You took all your y values and subtracted 2. All right, let's go to the next one. So the next one says, translate the figure 4 units to the right and 3 units up. Okay, so let's go ahead and label our points here, record them E, D, and F. So these are our original, our pre-image. We see E is at -4, 1. D is at -7, -4. And F is at -3, -5. All right, so what they want us to do is they want to go 4 to the right and 3 up. So if I start with E, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, and then 1, 2, 3 up. Okay, we're going to label our new point as E prime. So we're at 0, 4. Okay, D prime, going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3 up. And that's going to be D prime. So our D prime value is at -3, -1. And then last F prime, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 1, 2, 3. And I'll label that one F prime. And we see that one is at 1, -2. All right, use your straight edge, connect those points. Okay, and once again, we see our object there. It has not changed direction. It hasn't twisted or rotated at all. It's the same size, so we just slid it over. Okay, so you can probably figure out what the pattern is on this one. So on this one here, we see that moving to the right, 4 increased all x values by 4, because we added on to it. -4 plus 4 is 0. -7 plus 4 is -3. Okay, just like our y values. Moving 2 up increased all y values by 2. So we see 1, or I'm sorry, we actually went up 3 there. We went moving 3 up. Okay, we increased by 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. -4 plus 3 is -1. -5 plus 3 is -2. So if we wanted to represent this algebraically, I don't know why I'm doing 2 points there. Kind of off my game here. So I have x, y. So what we do with the x, we went 4 to the right. So we're going to do x plus 4. Every value went 4. Then we went 3 up, which represents our y values. So that's y plus 3. All right, let's turn the page. On the back side, it says, record the images of the pre-image in the table below, and then record the new image. So the pre-image that's the one that doesn't have the little apostrophe or the prime mark as we call it now. So this is our pre-image right here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We see we got 4 points there. I'm just going to go in alphabetical order. G, H, I, and J. Okay, let's go ahead and write down those points. So G is at 2, -7. H is at 2, -1. I is at 5, comma, negative 1, and j is at 5, comma, negative 7. Okay, so now our new image, we're going to rewrite those points. So G prime, H prime, I prime, J prime. All right, so if I look at my G here, that point is at negative 5, comma, negative 3. And then H is at negative 5, comma, 3. Okay, and then I is at negative 2, comma, 3. And then J is at negative 2, comma, negative 3. So a verbal description of the translation, they want to know, how did it move? You know, it went over this way and then it went up. So we know it moved to the left and then it went up some. Okay, but how many? So let's start with the H here. And let's just start going to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if I go right here at 7 over to the left, I'm at the same level as where that H prime is, but now I need to go up. So I know that was 7 to the left and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. So we went over 7 to the left and up 4. Okay, so we just write that 7 units to the left and 4 units up. Okay, so an algebraic representation of this translation, again, let's make a kind of a large ordered pair parentheses. So x and then our y. So think, what happened to our x values? 2 to negative 5, 2 to negative 5, 5 to negative 2, 5 to negative 2. Well, moving to the left, we know that subtraction. We subtracted 7. So it's x minus 7. And then all our y values, negative 7 to negative 3, negative 1 to 3. That's represented by plus 4, which we also see going up 4 right here. So our y is plus 4. Okay, now it says, what do you notice about the line segments in the pre-image and the image? Do they change size? Well, no, because look here, GJ is 1, 2, 3 squares. GJ prime, again, is 1, 2, 3 squares. And the same can be said for these side segments right here. They're not going to change size at all. That's one of the properties of a translation. Okay, so we say sides are congruent. These are the same size. All right, number 4, we are going to hold off on, and I want to go down to number 5. Okay, so on number 5, it says describe the translation. We see we're going 12, comma 7 in M, and M prime is negative 1 to 14. So I want you to think, what happened here? We go 12 to negative 1. So if you imagine, 12, so here's 0, 0. 12 is somewhere out here, and you go all the way to negative 1. So you went back all of these spots, So what happened was you moved to the left. Well, how many did you have to move to the left? Well, this 12, and then that 1 there. So move to the left 12, and let's see what happened to our y values. So you went from 7 to 14. So imagine if this was your coordinate grid right here, your y values. So you're at, let's say, right here was 7, and then all the way up here is 14. So you'd have to go up that many spots. Well, how many did it go up? It went up 7. So move to the left 12 and up 7. Okay, one more. Let's do together. Number 6. Describe the translation. Negative 6 to negative 5. What happened there? What happened to negative 6 to negative 5? What do I need to add or subtract to negative 6 to get to negative 5? And that's going to be plus 1 because negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5. So if you're adding 1, we know that's not going to the left. That is going to the right. So move to the right 1. And let's figure out, are we going up or down? We're going from negative 8 to 2. So that's kind of a big jump. If you think of negative 8 up to 2. What do I need to add to negative 8 to get to 2? Well, negative 8 plus 10 is 2. And if it's a positive, that means we have to go up. So, and up 10. Okay, you guys describe what's going on with number 7. And that is it for today.